What is this? It's red, right? Well, yes, that's its name, but it's not what I mean. It's a color? No, that's just a category. It's the label that it's given. So, what is it? Well, technically, it's light being reflected on a substance and being reflected back into your eyes and processed through your brain. But that's just the science of it, and please feel free to correct me because I'm sure I'm wrong about that. But red is something more than its scientific and literary definition. It's an idea. It's something that exists in reality, but also exists in its own space, not outside of reality, but kind of beside it. Okay, let me take this from another angle, right? From a pineapple in the sea. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
SpongeBob isn't real. I know. I'm sorry, but you had to find out at some point. Might as well find out from me, right? But hell, SpongeBob does exist in concept. Not only does he exist, but he has an effect on reality, right? Homie's the subject of 1,000 different memes, and that's from the first 4 seasons alone, right? He has effect on people despite not being real, right? The same thing with red. There are many different names for red and many different languages, and there are also many different types of red if you study any type of color theory, right? But red is red and SpongeBob is SpongeBob because that's the labels that we have for them, and those labels help separate them from the world of concept into the world of reality, right? So, what is this place, and how do we as humans exist within it, or doesn't it exist within us? Yeah, it's sexy. All right, let's change it up a little bit. So there's the you that exists, right? Your flesh, your blood, your physical being, right? But there's also the you that exists in concepts. When you meet someone, you create an idea of them in your mind based off of what they tell you and what you see, the experiences you have with them, and how you see other people react to them as well. But that's just your perception of them, and that perception of them is just a concept that you made up in your mind. But when you think of it, your perception is kind of a myth, right? That you kind of made up to even be able to process the person. It's not actually the truth. The truth of a person is their whole lives, right? Not only is it made up of the things that you see, but the things that you don't see. Not only the things that person tells you, but the things that they don't tell you, right? Like I said, the perception of a person is a myth, right? And it can't possibly be true, right? But the second part of this is that there's a myth about you as well. It's a version of you that exists in everyone's head as a concept, like SpongeBob with the color red, right? There is a version of you that someone has to create to even be able to perceive you, right? But like I said before, it can't possibly be true. Hell, for some of you, when I put this color on the screen, you didn't even see red. You saw something else. Hell, even with SpongeBob, everybody has their own perception on him and different reasons for liking and even not liking him. Your perspective on people is painted with the eyes that you have to see them with, right? With the ears that you have to hear them with, right? With the paintbrush of your own mind. But there's also has to be a you that exists conceptually in your own head. I guess you could say it's the myth that you have about yourself. We're going to keep dragging this one till the wheels fall off, right? It's the image that you create of yourself based off your own experiences. And this myth could either be relatively true or complete fucking horseshit, right? From the you that actually exists. For example, you may believe that you're a terrible, annoying person who's constantly bothering everybody, which in reality, you're not actually that bad, if a little bit neurotic, right? But that myth is powerful, right? It's not even reality, like SpongeBob. This is the you that doesn't actually exist in reality, but it's real because you believe it's real. But it can contrast from the version of you that actually exists in the heads of people around you and the one that actually exists in reality. And the craziest thing is, this is happening to everybody all around you all of the time, right? All of those myths are different for the person based off the person who's creating the myth, for you and for themselves, right? So, in conclusion, what version of something is real, right? Is it the part that exists in physical space? Is it the part that exists on the conceptual level, right? Obviously, SpongeBob doesn't exist in the physical space. Put the fucking keyboard down. Merch doesn't count, right? But does the fact that he can be conceptualized make him real? What about ideas that haven't even been thought of yet? Do those ideas exist simply because we acknowledge that they can? Right? Will this script have a part 2 when I get better at doing research and taking more diligent notes? Find out next time on
Show me your moves. Yes. Show me your